Hello, I'm Tiffany Pilon, Director of the Healthcare Education Center here at Lewis Clark State College. This is a tutorial on how to complete your Nursing CAS application. You would start by going to the website, nursingcas.org. That's the website. We'll click Apply Now. It should take you into this first screen of selecting which semester you are looking to get in for. If you've previously applied through Nursing CAS for a different semester or term, make sure that you don't follow a bookmark because it will bypass this page if you're going to a new semester. So for this example, we're going to use spring 2026, but this would be for any semester you're looking to apply. You'll create a username and password. And you'll sign in. If it's your first time signing in, it will ask you to choose a school. And so the screen that you'll see is something like this. The easiest way to find our program is to click on the search box and type in Lewis and then a hyphen or dash Clark. Don't type Lewis and Clark. We are Lewis dash Clark. So here we are, Lewis Clark State College. In the future, if we are Lewis Clark State University, you'll still find us. So this is the one that we would find, again, any semester or term you're looking for. You find the college. In theory, this is not already marked, so I already have us found. So you would, again, find the program, same steps. If you type just Lewis, just make sure you click on the right one. Here we are, spring of 26. You can also view the program just to make sure it's the right one. You want to see our heading. You'll want to see this information here. This tutorial will be available in the content bar. I'm re-recording this. So anyway, you'll pick your selection for your school and now we can get started. So this page here, your main application, you've got a tab here. There's these big 4 boxes. To get started, my recommendation is to just go in personal information and then follow it along clockwise. Okay, supporting information, I just leave for the end because there's not actually a lot there that we are specifically looking for. So starting here and getting those other 3 boxes done first kind of helps you manage your time. So personal information, you'll click on that box. Just top down, everything in Nursing CAS, just kind of follow a flow. I would not recommend jumping around. You can always work on something, save it and come back. But if you have some time and just want to do this in one sitting, you definitely can. So starting from the top down, I won't go through all these boxes because it is very, very straightforward. It's if you've ever filled out a form with your information, you can fill this out too. So fill in the personal information. As you complete every section, it should start to fill up this round circle with your parts that you've completed. And then when all 7 are completed, you'll see the check mark and you'll know this section is done. So the next section, academic history, this is where you will spend most of your time. So this is kind of where I'm going to focus a little bit of this tutorial on, top to bottom. Now I've already been in here working on some of this just for the tutorial, so we don't need to go through everything. You can list your high school attended. Our program does not require high school transcripts. If you find other schools that you're applying to and they do, or something different, you may be required for that. But at this time, we do not. Your colleges attended would be the next section you would go to. And I will say, let's go back. I will say that when you do these sections, you do, even though you may not upload something, you would still click into it, okay? So then colleges attended, you would add a school, okay? So I already have some added here, but let's pretend you're here. Let's say you're a Lewis and LCSC student. So you're gonna click add college or university, and we wanna add Lewis. Again, remember the dash, Clark, here we are, State College. Okay, so you would find it. And then it's going to ask you questions. So Did you obtain or are you planning to obtain a degree here? This is helpful, especially if you're coming from another school and maybe right now you don't have a degree, but you're planning on the end of this term having something, then you would say, yes, I'm planning on it. Or if you already have, then you would say yes. If you're planning to leave your current school and the hope is to come to LC and finish, then no, you're not planning to obtain a degree from that school. We really just want to know, are you going to have this before you come here? So let's say, well, yes, I'm coming to LC and I'm planning to earn a degree here. I would say degree in progress. I could say the type of degree I'm planning to earn is my BSN, right? My Bachelor of Science in Nursing. I don't know if they'll have everything here. Let's see. There we go. Bachelor of Science in Nursing. If you have a previous degree and it's not listed specifically, do your best. There are other ways to confirm all of this. And again, it says, when will you earn that degree? Well, if I get into the program, let's say it's December of 29. And I haven't done the math. This could be wrong. What's your major? Nursing. Honestly, again, if you are at another school, then go ahead and make sure you fill all this out and that you're coming here with a previous degree. You don't have to have a minor, and I'm not a double major, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay, what type of system? So you do need to know if your college or previous colleges are on one of these. We're going to say semester. Are you still attending? Yes. When did you first start? So know this as well when your first term. If you were a high school student taking Running Start or dual credit classes, this sometimes is a little bit more tricky because you're not exactly sure when the grades were posted on your transcript. So it will be helpful if you have your own copy of a transcript to use, and I'll show you in the next section too why that's going to be helpful. But once you know the start and stop times of being at a school, and it really doesn't matter if you left for a bit and then came back. They don't have to be consecutive semesters. They just want to know, when did you start and then when's the last semester. So let's say I started fall of, which again, it's going to ask for a month. Do your best here. And then let's say I started in 2022. Now I've already added this, so let's just get out of here, but now you know what to do. I will also say that if you are in progress at a school and it's your first semester there, maybe you're finishing up microbiology at a community college or somewhere else, maybe you don't have any other transcripts there except the one class you have in progress. You still need to list that as a college attended. And so a lot of students take online classes from Portage Learning. Starting this in about a month, West Coast students, their actual credits are coming from Bushnell University. Anyone prior to July 1st of 2025, if you have started a course through Portage, it was from Geneva. So know which college is actually giving you those credits if you're taking Portage Learning classes. Same thing with Independent Study in Idaho. We have different schools actually offering those credits. So you are technically going to be a student at that college. So make sure that you list that here. So as you list each of your schools, if you forget one, when NursingCast gets your transcripts and they see maybe it says from LC, um, 6 credits from College of Western Idaho, but you forgot that. NursingCast will notice that and they will kick your application back to you to go and add that school and now request that transcript as well. So be aware of all the schools that you have credits from. It makes this process go much more smoothly. So you add all your schools. I've just got some samples in here. So if you went to a bunch of schools, you have a bunch of them listed. Also on this page is where you will apply or request your transcripts. So our application process does require official transcripts. So some schools may not, but we do. And this is official, not unofficial. So once you put your schools in, you have a button here to order the transcript. And you can click in here. It doesn't mean that you have to order it right this second, but click on it and it will offer you the option here of if you're going to order this electronically or by mail. Most schools have electronic transcript processes. There are only two main companies that offer these services to colleges. So your schools will be using one or the other. So for example, Walla Walla Community College, let's say I'm not really sure which company they use. You can Google this, you can find that out pretty quickly, but let's just say I'm not sure. I'm going to click the clearinghouse first. Once you click an option, it will give you this little pop-up here, and it's going to give you everything step by step on what you need to do. You should be reading this because it will give you a transcript ID number. Do not copy this from my tutorial because this is my number. You will have your own number. So when you are in your process and you're going through and requesting transcripts, whatever your number says, you're going to copy. Okay, you'll copy it because when you get into the request form, there will be a place to paste it. So again, let's say I don't know, I'm going to go to National Student Clearinghouse. This is for Walla Walla Community College. It's loading schools. I'm going to type in Walla Walla, and it didn't find it. So that tells me they don't use this company. They must use the other one. So I can click this out, go back. Well, now we're going to go to Parchment. Copy this number, visit Parchment, and it told you right on that thing what company to look for too. So after I type in Walla Walla, I get a few choices here, and I could finish with community college, but here we are, Walla Walla Community College. As it goes through the request, just you'll answer the questions where you want this to be sent. If you've ever ordered a transcript before, you kind of know the process. Just make sure, again, that when you did this initial click into the button, look at the directions first. Select Nursing CAS as the recipient, include the transcript ID number. So again, this is mine, you will use yours. So let's pretend you went through the process, or don't. You can say I'll do this later. And then, like I said, do that for every single school that you have ever received college credits from. Even if they didn't have anything to do with nursing, even if they were 20 years old, we require all transcripts, even if they're just again, bad grades, it all matters. So it says it right here, transcripts are required. So once you finish all of that, then you'll go into the transcript entry section. Now, I will say NursingCast has a service they offer called Professional Transcript Entry. And this service costs money, and they will take your transcripts and type them in for you. I do not recommend this. It does take quite a while. They don't start unless every single transcript has been received. Students, it seems like this might save them time. It becomes more of a headache from what I've seen happen. So I just recommend doing this yourself. It's really not difficult. And it doesn't take that much time as long as you're just kind of diligent and don't get distracted and just hammer it out. So what is this section? Transcript review. Like I said, it's really helpful to have your own copy. If you have never received your own copy, let's say again, you went to LCSC or College of Western Idaho, anywhere, if you can have your own copy, and then you may have to pay for the additional copy to then go to NursingCast, so be it. But what's going to happen is you are going to take from your transcript every semester that you have completed or classes that you have taken here for college credit. So if the course is, you'll just read it right off of the transcript. Do not add classes. If you have a transcript that maybe lists, like North Idaho College, at the beginning of their transcripts, they're going to have listed any transfer credits or advanced placement degree kind of placement tests credits. You're not adding those in unless they're listed as the institution credits. So you'll list the course exactly how it should be listed. If it says math or English, you will type it in. Now, some of these are examples. You go with what's on your transcript. When you're adding a semester, I'm going to scroll way down here just so you can see. So here's an ad about this professional transcript entry service. Again, I don't recommend doing that. You're going to, when you're starting this, you'll add a semester. And this is important to look at because, again, if you already put in your colleges and you already know what semester you started, you should have transcripts that are giving you from that time period. So let's say you said, okay, I started this school in fall of 22. Well, I can say fall. Now, again, this is my pretend account, but I shouldn't be then trying to put in something from fall of 2021 if I started in 2022. So just be detailed and a little methodical and make sure your dates and everything are correct. Let's say you are putting in a semester for classes you have in progress right now. You're not going to have a grade for that. So your completion status is going to be in progress. Okay, so you'll say in progress. You'll add in the classes that you currently are taking. If you finish what you have completed with grades, and then you'll also list your in progress coursework. So just quickly here, so again, let's say we said fall of 22. This is not that important. Do your best. I mean, if you were a freshman, you're a freshman, sophomore. If you took classes in high school, just list them all as freshman courses. That's fine. So let's say this is for, again, something I have completed, and now I want to put my course in, and math. Don't put all of the words here. So you can say math 130, but the title goes here. So finite math. Okay, subject. Obviously, this one's very straightforward. I could call it algebra. I could call it calculus. It really doesn't matter. Nursing CAS is not going to verify this exact subject. Okay, so again, we're just going to say algebra. Now over here, most classes I've ever seen are going to be a whole number. You're not going to have a class that's 2.5 credits or 3.5. So for the most part, type in a whole number and just leave this at 0, 0. Okay, and then let's say I got a B. Well, what if you're at a school that only gives you, like I got a 3.2? Okay, so then you just type in what's on the transcript. You don't have to figure that out. Nursing CAS will do that for you. So you just put in the grade. If your school has pluses and minuses, you put the plus or minus. And again, Nursing CAS will calculate things. So we've already talked about that. If this was an in-progress semester, it would not require me to put a grade in. Okay, so don't put IP for in progress. You're going to want to make sure you have it listed as an in progress semester. Then there's nothing that you need to type in here. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to cancel out, and you will save it when you're working on your stuff. So you will do transcript entry for every single school that you have applied to. So again, this is where you will spend most of your time. LC does not require any standardized tests, so you will need to click in here and opt that you're not going to add any. If you have one that you want to add, feel free, especially if you're applying to multiple schools, but for our application purposes, we do not have any tests that we require. So once you're done with this section, again, everything will turn green and be checkmarked. And so you can list your high school attended, so you can add it. So let's say if you were here in Lewiston, where we are, you could type in Lewiston High School, whatever your high school was, right? Okay, so Lewiston State, Idaho. Did you graduate? Yes. When did you graduate? Let's say it was June of 22. There we go. Save this school. Okay, so now my college or my high school is done. Now I have 4 out of 4, so moving on. I won't go through every single thing here because, again, that was the biggest part. Next, you'd move into program materials. And again, it just depends on, I have 2 listed here because I've been playing, but you should just have the 1 or whatever it is that you're interested in applying for. This whole page here, go through it. It does look over what we require. We do require a CNA. If there is some reason why you are not able to complete your certification, or if you do not have a MA or EMT, talk with an advisor or email us to at nhs@lcsc.edu. Here's our prerequisite coursework. You can have things in progress, but pay attention to the dates when things need to be completed. We do require a science GPA of at least 2.75 at the time of application. These are the 5 classes. I know there's 4 bullets, but Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2 is a full series. So maybe you took a semester of anatomy and a separate semester of physiology. That's the series. If you're at a quarter school or trimester, maybe you have A&P 1, 2, and 3. All of those are included. So use gpacalculator.io is my recommendation to make sure that at the time you're applying, let's say you still have microbiology in progress, the other classes of this group that you have completed, and it's only the most recent attempt, those have to combined be at least a 2.75 to at the time of application to be eligible to apply. Again, if you have questions with this, work with an advisor, or you can email the nhs@lcsc.edu. But I just tell students, go to gpacalculator.io, the website. It's free. You can use the calculator there. Your overall college GPA also needs to be at least a 2.5. If you have a lot of repeats, this number, what your college says is your GPA, they may replace a bad grade with a new grade that you've received. Depending on how it's written on your transcript, all credits and all attempts will be counted on Nursing CAS. Washington State University, they don't list the credits from the first attempt, so it doesn't count against you. But here we have required documents. The only documents we need are your official transcripts. If you do have in progress coursework, if it's not listed on a transcript as in progress, we would like you to upload proof of enrollment. And that might be an unofficial transcript that just shows something in progress. That's fine. And then again, your certificate of your nursing assistant or nursing aide licensure or certification. So if you're an LPN or again, medical assistant, EMT, medic, corpsman. So read through the directions. Everything on here, I know there's a lot of words, but you would want to read just from top to bottom. Read through it. If there's any questions, you've got that information there. We've provided some links to some interesting things if you're unfamiliar with our campus. COVID vaccine information, this will be updated as we go along as well. So again, lots of information here, but there are resources available if you have questions. So let's scroll back up and we're almost done. Questions. These are very straightforward. You're just going to answer them as you go through. We don't have any essay questions. There's a little grit score questionnaire. That's something you'll just complete as you go through the questions here. Documents, we just talked about making sure you have uploaded your CNA, or again, if you're in a CNA course, we just want to see proof of the where you're taking it, what the dates are, and then if you have any in progress coursework, you would also list that. And then prerequisites. If you get to this section and you followed everything else kind of how I've been showing you, then this should be easy. You should be able to go follow this. What it's going to have you do is it will link back to that transcript entry and just have you identify what are you using to complete this requirement? What class are you using to complete this requirement? So go through and do your best. Even if you mess up on this, it actually doesn't hurt anything on your application. The advisor that works your application and helps to process it, they will verify and correct any mistakes in this section. The rest of it's going to be up to you, but for the prerequisites, just do your best. So again, as you complete each part, your section will fill up. So let's say that's all done, then supporting information. I leave this for the end because we don't require anything. There's nothing in here that we specifically are looking for. If you do already have a CNA or an LPN, something with a licensure certification, feel free to add it, but you don't have to add anything here. We do ask in the question section about your CNA, or again, some other medical or equivalency that we will allow. So experiences, if you clicked in, if you want to fill anything, feel free. If you don't, you would just say, I'm not adding any. Okay, so you don't have to. I can't even guarantee that we would look in this section. So do your best, fill it out. If you do have any questions, let us know. And I look forward to seeing you here on campus. Thanks.